So watching old Floyd do his defection from Bacheng, the glitz and the glamour, to the new MK, new glitz and glamour, red goes to green. And I mean, the whole world, he's received by his guy, going mad, and the rest of the country is sitting and watching tennis. But couldn't help thinking, I mean, wonder why he did it. He gets up and he said, yeah, to make a truly revolutionary movement. And I thought, okay, that sounds fair enough. What is a truly revolutionary movement at the moment? Well, I suppose the thing would be to say, well, what is a revolution about? Surely a revolution is about making the world better for those that follow the revolution. I mean, that was the old way, wasn't it? I mean, revolution, boom, a country gets overthrown, people go to the guillotine, but 20 years of shite, and then carry on as usual. That was basically a revolution. But I think people in today's world, we've come so far from that. People are tired of war, they're tired of conflict, they're tired of hate, they're worn out. The whole world is. And so what would a revolution be? Well, I mean, first, as I said, would be for the betterment of the people, else it has a purpose, otherwise it's fascism, isn't it? You've seen a lot of it. I mean, we'll go talk about the world. But a revolution would be making the place better for the stalwarts of the revolution, and ultimately, because the revolution would be in a country, making it better for the country so that the country benefits from the revolution. That, to me, makes sense for a revolution. So in this case, it's making South Africa better for those that are in MK, and the rest of the country is seeing that the country gets better because of MK's involvement. And then from that, the perception of MK becomes validated. It's sort of, no, it's respected, and it grows and gets recognition for the role it plays in the history of South Africa. And I mean, what a great opportunity. We see that Floyd obviously has done the defection now, and he's at the rah-rah days, and I think he's been eaten up by the system as well, corruption. Zuma eaten up twice by corruption. Once came in, arms deal, pulled him down, hurt his career. Then the second time come in, and it was state capture, and he was also pulled in by money. But this third time, it could be redemption. If you really think about it, if he came back and said, okay, we're going to make the country better, we're going to make MK a respected organization on the political landscape of South Africa, which means we will make a difference, a positive difference, to the lives of all our people. And because we will be representing on the national stage for the country. And how do you do that? Well, let's take 2 families or 3 families, and there are 3 families, right? And just on a boat, they get washed up on a desert island. And one is a war family, right? And the other one builds houses. And the other one is agriculture and farm and raises chickens that they bring with them, they say, from the boat and this kind of stuff, and they carry on. Now the war family obviously can go and he can slug the other 2 families, kill them, but then they'd have no houses and they have no food, so they would die. I mean, wouldn't it be saying, Akawati, well, we'll give you protection from the sharks, because that's all they are on these islands at the moment, until we breed for a couple of generations, and then all of a sudden our kids will face that. But anyway, it won't go at the moment. But get the house builders to build 3 houses, one for each of the family. Get the food guy to turn around and create a little farm and feed. And meanwhile, the strong family just chill on the beach and get into good body shape, you know? I mean, that makes sense in a small scale, but doesn't it apply? I mean, if you look at the world, there's chaos. We've got one man, Benjamin Netanyahu. If this war ends, his career ends, he is in trouble. He faces a lot of legal shit, man. So he can, on a personal level, he cannot let this war end. He cannot let a ceasefire come about. He just can't. He has no other options. If he does, if he pulls out of it, his right wing will desert the ship, and his government will fall apart, and he will be out of a job, and he will face legal repercussions for his past. If he causes ceasefire, same story. There is no way out for this man, unfortunately. And so he's got it. And then we've got, of course, America supporting them. Why? Because of NAPAC, the Israeli lobby that holds Congress. They've got everyone by the short and curlies and will not say a thing, which means that Netanyahu is running America, if you think about it. It's crazy. One man to keep a job is running the strongest, most powerful country in the world that could result, not only it is going to result in regional war escalations today, so it's going to go up a notch. No, there's no argument about it. But this thing is going to escalate. If Iran gets pulled into this thing, and then Russia gets company with Iran, and China sitting on the sidelines, it will be seen as an existential threat to Israel, and Netanyahu will push the red button. And then all of a sudden, this thing takes on a life of its own, especially considering that NATO and US are linked to both. And Russia is linked at the moment to one, and then through Iran will be. It's going to be annihilation of the planet. Yeah. Well, anyway, coming back to old Floyd. If he had to come up, if say, I tell stories, I don't do politics, I make up a story. I'm an author, I write books. So if he had to go, so now if I was him, I'd be looking and saying, okay, situation whether I think I was right or wrong, it's not really relevant. But I was perceived when I came out of there smelling. I don't want to smell. I want to come out smelling good. I want my name to go down in history as the man that did make a difference, did bring about change, because after apartheid, all we did is created a black social elite, that's all. And we separated the divide. But if I come in as the bridge to turn around and say, and how do I do that? That does not mean going and annihilating everyone that does jobs and bringing the system to a halt for the revolution. A revolution is to say, how do I utilize the resources? How do we actually optimize the resources, but make sure that the benefit feeds down to the bottom tier and falls up from the bottom? If you think of say you've got like a wagon wheel, okay, but they're made out of glass cylinders, and they're linked with, like the little axles that go to the hub in the middle, but they're all these glass cylinders of different sizes around this thing. And you pour water into any one of them, they will all fill up eventually to exactly the same level. And until they are all the same level, there will be turbulence. There will be dynamics at play for it to level out, because nature loves balance. And having any form of domination, of one people dominating of another, for intellectually, socially, emotionally, financially, that can only cause turbulence. And turbulence, so now just take colonialism. We turn around, boom, they march, they take over Africa. And they extracted and they stole the minerals from the earth, and they took it back to empires. And they say, no, well, we did the work. Of course they did the work. They did the training, 100%. But it wouldn't have been easy. Instead of putting armies together to turn around and protect these things, it would have been a hell of a lot cheaper just to include the people. Say, listen, like the Chinese are doing, Okay, but they're on a different scale, obviously. Let's not go, that's a completely different discussion. But take these people and train them, teach them, and make them like you. That's it. You can't turn around. You cannot dominate people. No one. Someone turns around and dominates any cluster of society, there will be kickback. There will be nationalism, localism, whatever you want to call it. People, no, I'm a Jonah Kapach. Always. But if you just left it that bench, I'm a little French man, that everyone would integrate. That but a choice, it's a freedom of choice. The minute freedom of choice gets pushed up against a wall, people become martyrs and they kick out. So we're looking at these whole problems in the East and all over. Wrong. We're looking at it and saying, who's going to win the war? How are we going to have a peacefire? Who's right and wrong? Who gives a fuck? It's how do we level it? How do we get the situation that all sides are benefiting? No one has to like each other. All they've got to do is the respect will make them deal with each other in a better way. And when people deal with each other in a better way, it's so much easier when you look forward to the ride, Anyway.